All right, welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. I am your host, Coach Veee, and my co-host, Dr. Dry, here in the building today. We are back together for episode number 3, and this week we are talking draft strategies because some of you may not be in any kind of draft mode at all, but some of you might be if you're in a dynasty league, if you're up to that kind of business. Then you are. You're in prep mode. You're getting down. You might even be doing some drafting. And so this is kind of talking about draft strategies, preparing you for all that kind of stuff. And so we're just going to go through it today. And Kevin is going to be, I would say, more of our expert today. I'm going to chime in here and there, have some good stuff to say. But Kevin, he dives deep into this stuff. And how deep are you into draft prep right now?
So hi everyone. So being in a dynasty league that's extremely heavy on like trades and everything. I'm in this one with my buddy Ben. He runs it, and best commissioner I've ever seen. And it has zero off season. Like we've been trading since trades opened back up after the Super Bowl, and anyway, just really prepping. And we kind of put off our rookie draft. It's still about a month out, but basically it's all I listen to. Like I listen to the radio, listen to YouTube, all that. So very steep in like falling a little too in love with rookies right now. I need to kind of get away from that and balance out a little bit. I know a little too much, and I might be a little too high on some guys. So anyway, yeah, just I love drafting. Drafting's my favorite part. So I mean, that's, I don't know, getting the guys together and everything. I want to paint a picture, kind of start this episode off. We'll call it Christmas Day because I know I can't sleep the night before a draft. It's just extremely exciting and something that, I don't know, like it sounds dumb, but like in my mid 30s, I don't have a lot to look forward to. So this is it. So
Back into life
whenever
30.
yeah, this is it. So, we only have a few years left around here. So basically, it's like Christmas Day, and whenever you have that in-person draft, it's the best. You get all the guys together. Most of the time it's hard to get 10 of you together at one time unless it's something that means a lot, like a fantasy football draft. So you got the beers going, you got the drinks flowing, you got, someone might get crazy and order a pizza or cook burgers or dogs or something. It's great just having that board and all those stickers, and you do have the World Wide Web at your fingertips, but some people don't even utilize that and just wing it and mess up. And it's a good feeling knowing that you're so well prepared because you've been on top of it for a few months already. If you see a guy show up with like one of those magazines that are printed in June, that we've had injuries since then. We've had like they're already behind. They're gonna mess up. Like it's a good feeling knowing that you're gonna be sharp going in, and you don't have that ADP right there in front of you. You actually have to do some work and have your research ready. But I love live drafts. They're so much fun. Hard to pull off whenever you have like friends in other states and everything. So if you have a good local league, that's where you can pull something like that off. If you haven't done it before, get yourself one of those little draft kits and have all the guys together. Kind of put those phones down for a while and just enjoy each other's company. I love it.
Yeah, I think I see a lot of people with like wasted opportunity. People who live all their players live nearby, and they're at home on their laptop. It's one thing. I've never had a live draft with a board and stickers and everything. I've
So
had
fun.
I've been in the room with people with their laptops, which is nice. That's like a nice like second place.
Yeah.
But it does sound a lot more fun. And it's one thing if you can't help it, everybody's in other states and whatnot. But if you can help it, you're all right there. Why not get together? Why not invest a little bit of time in it? Like you said, guys will tend to, be like, oh, well, I got my family or I got my work. And it's like, you
What's
can't.
more important?
Right. Come on.
Like, come on.
Your boys are there waiting for you. You can't spare one night. One night. Come on.
Right, exactly. Yeah, another good way around it is, if it's a family thing, like bring their family, and like, if the, wife, girlfriend, kids, boyfriend, whatever, like, if they all want to hang out in the other room, or, they want to enjoy the draft too, whatever. Like, just, everybody will have a good night. So, that's
You
one
know,
way
you
around it that a lot of people don't utilize.
send your kid to the board with a sticker. I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, if a lot of the people in the league are dads or have families, they're not going to care. Now if it's a bunch of single guys and you're the only dad, okay, don't bring your kid to that. But like,
Right. They're not gonna have much fun. Yeah.
right, read the room, and if it seems like a good situation, then make it a whole. Get everyone on board. Make it a thing.
Oh
We
yeah.
don't. We tend to like find ways to not do things and get out of events and stuff. Go to a thing.
Hmm.
Do a thing.
Yeah.
It's good for you.
Yeah, do a thing. It's your buddies. Like, see them. You don't get to see them often sometimes, and we are getting old now, so make that time, at least once a year. So, anyway, that's my favorite day of the year. It's the most important holiday for me is that live draft day. So I really look forward to it if I'm fortunate enough to be in a league like that. Luckily, I'm in one. My buddy Joe runs it, a bunch of local guys. Each year we get together, have a good time, and it's worth it.
Heck yeah. And so if Christmas Day is draft day, then draft prep would be the holiday shopping season.
Yeah,
Sort of.
perfect,
So
perfect analogy.
tell us about what you do for pre-draft prep.
So basically I kind of make it where, a lot of people will listen to music to get themselves through the day and things like that. I listen to fantasy football, sports talk radio. I listen to, YouTube podcasts like this one, other things. So it's kind of all I consume. I'm a little crazy with it. Like, you don't have to do all that, but mock drafting is a huge thing that everybody can do. You can do it on your app. You can set your league settings to it. You can make sure you draft out of the slot that you're going to be drafting out of it. Once you know your draft order, it really prepares you because even though it might not go exactly as planned or anything because your league's unpredictable compared to a bunch of robots or random people in the draft. But it gives you an idea of who's available where, and you can kind of set those expectations on, like, if you say you have the first pick in the draft, you can kind of bring your hopes down from getting the fifth best guy, like, and you can see, who's there around that 2022 mark or something. So, and then, you can hope to see who falls, who could be a possibility and everything, how you might want to build your roster construction, different strategies. So I do a lot of that. If it's a live draft, I actually do print out, just in case there is like Wi-Fi issues or something, I do print out an ADP just kind of as a guideline, and I like to cross people off as they go. So I'm not that embarrassing person who's like, oh, where's that sticker? And it's on the board already. So, I do that. But yeah, those are some simple ways to prep. Vinny, what do you like to do whenever you have a nice draft going?
Well, I like to consume. Honestly, I like to really bring down my information. So I try not to consume too many different sources of information.
Right.
I
Yeah.
have like a reliable
It's
couple.
conflicting. Yeah.
And it's just like fantasy is so conflicting, anyways, from week to week. Do I start this guy? Do I sit this guy? When you add a whole bunch of other voices to it, to me, it's just more stress relieving just to go, these are the people I listen to, I get advice from. I combine it with my own judgment and we
Yep.
go for it. I'm not, so I try to get my sources down to just a bare minimum, the people that I
Smart.
trust. And then I like to listen to that usually on my drive a couple times a week. And then as far as like getting ready for draft day, I think it's crucial not to just rely on your computer. I like to have some things printed off or like literally written out. Maybe I have my tiers for
Yep.
each position group and I have it written out, and then I'm crossing it off as it's happening. This past season, I had to draft from a car, from my phone, live
It
apartment,
sucks.
and it
Yeah.
was the worst ever. And I did okay, but also it was pretty terrible. So
Yeah.
the prep
I did.
makes the day better.
Yeah, I had to draft from a hospital one time, and then halfway through the draft, we had to leave, and I was drafting from the interstate in and out of reset. Like, it was a big mess. But yeah, drafting from your phone sucks, and It's not fun. It's, you could end up getting auto drafted. It could lag. It could, like, I don't know, just so many things, especially whenever you're mobile like that and everything. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, those are good tips. And that brings me to another thing, like just your sources that you do rely on. Make sure it's someone credible, someone that you've grown to like over the years, someone that you tend to, like their takes and they've been pretty accurate. Don't just listen to, the most readily available source because it's the big name out there. Listen to sources you don't like and make fun of them. Like it's, so you know who to avoid. Like, I don't know, but yeah, I think that's good to, find those sources, find those voices, personalities that you really like that resonate with your draft style. It's kind of like building a resume. You're going to get all sorts of different advice on what to do and everything. There's not one way to build it. Combine that with what you like and what works for you. So I think that's a good way to prep for your draft.
So up next is, we've talked about how great the day is leading up to the day, and so now you're in the draft, and what are the strategies? And so we have some strategies kind of listed, but this doesn't obviously include all of them. But what are those general draft strategies that you like to use, Kevin?
Yeah. Yeah. So I know I enjoyed tiers. Honestly, I end up being in and out on guys, but there are tier breaks for me if I kind of see like, oh, okay, if I don't get a quarterback right here, I'm going to miss out until, this quarterback where it starts that next tier where I'm back in. Or, there's only one more good running back. It's going to go before it gets back to me. Like, so understanding tiers and, really reading that board. I like the hero running back strategy. I like stacking when you can, when it makes sense. And yeah, don't do too much. I don't know. Sometimes I'll do zero running back. I was doing zero running back before it was like big, like back in like 2010. I think I put together like Antonio Brown, Julio Jones, and like someone else like in their prime, and like everybody was like, you don't have a running back, but it ended up working out. So like you can do stuff like that. I'm not a huge fan of doubling down on running back. I know that's kind of an outdated thing, especially in today's NFL, where that you can wait on running back. It's kind of like waiting on quarterback. You can wait on running back. There are good running backs further down. Hero running back strategy. If you're not familiar with it, it's you take one of those really good running backs in round 1 or round 2, and then you're loading up on receiver, tight end, quarterback, and you basically wait to take that running back until later. But you have that one hero quarterback or that one hero running back he's your guy. He's the guy that you're all in on. Something that makes sense with ADP, obviously, but that's your hero running back strategy that I really like. Stacking, putting that quarterback and wide receiver together. I think probably the best one you can get right now that makes a lot of sense is if you're in that 1 to 2 slot, you get Chase, you get Burrow in that second, third round. I think that's a really good stack. Also, like an AJ Brown at the end of the first and like a Jalen Hurts at the beginning of the second is a really good stack. Allen Diggs, Devonta Smith and Jalen Hurts, but like flip it around. But yeah, lots of different ways that you can go. Also, just remaining fluid. I think it's important to have that draft fall to you. And you can go in with a general outline, but it's going to get messed up. So, there are unpredictable drafters out there. You don't know how everybody else is prepped, who everybody else is high or low on. So it's important to, just be ready for about anything and be able to pivot. So I think that's really important. Any of those strategies that you use, Vinny?
Well, I've had to like accidentally use zero RB many times. Like, I don't
That's
think
a good way to, like, if you missed out, like, oh, I was just doing zero RB.
I like. There's been many a drafts where I was like, oh, well, all right, we'll just won't do any RBs till like the 12th round, so it'll
Yeah.
be.
It's like you airball a shot, but your friend caught it midair and put it back in. Oh, it was a pass. Like,
So I've done a lot of accidental zero RB, and I tell you what, like in today's NFL, there's never been a better time to be like a zero RB guy.
yeah.
Talking about like hero RB. How many clear cut number one starting running backs are in the NFL? I would say less than 20. maybe
Yeah.
less than, if you're in a 12-team league, there might be less than 12 clear-cut number one running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
So that would mean maybe if you're not pick 1 through 6, hero RB might be a strategy you can't do. Like you can't
Yeah.
do effectively, because if you're pick number 12 and you take RB on that one, what RB are you getting at 12 that's
Yeah.
a superhero in a sense?
Right. Yeah.
Um, so it's really, for me, like, I would say I might, even though I've been an accidental zero RB, I feel like I've become like a purposeful zero RB, because I'm just like always looking for those windows, and like every RB is going to have a window.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then, I mean, if you're CMC, your window is all season long. If you're Khalil Herbert, last year your window was like 2 games. But
Yeah.
if you were there for the window and you were like ready for the window, okay, you get Khalil
Yeah.
Herbert, you use them and you lose them. And it's like it requires a lot more like active participation, but
Yeah.
you can snag Raheem Mostert right as he's like having his 3 game streak. Sweet, you just got out of like nobody. Um,
Yeah.
so I play a lot like that. Now my fantasy record doesn't necessarily say it's the best move, but I have
Well,
more fun playing that way. I get excited when like my guy I like found off the trash heap does something.
yeah. Well, here's the thing, like at the end, like if you get in those playoffs and you get to those later rounds, most running backs in the league, or at least I don't know, like maybe a quarter of the league that was drafted at running back is hurt by the end of the year. So, you're picking up like a good example of this would be Jerick McKinnon last year. If
Mhm.
someone got Jerick McKinnon late, like he was going off. He was like he was an RB1 the last like few weeks just from all those PPR points and everything. It was crazy. But yeah, I mean, running back's just one of those positions where, like, if you have a top end receiver, they're less likely to get hurt. There's someone that you can depend on. You're likely going to get most or all of the games out of them. So I mean, that's kind of the way that the league's going. But I mean, if you do find that really good running back, you know that they're rare up top, so you do have that value there. If you end up with one, it just has to make sense. But yeah, I mean, lots of strategies that you can go with. But I think most importantly, plan on it getting messed up on draft day and being able to still be good, and with whatever happens and be able to draft deep and you draft deep, stay active on the waiver wire, you'll be just fine. As long as your goal is to win a championship, not make the playoffs, like, you should, I don't know, the process is so important whenever you're trying to do something like that. Just being methodical in like every way, being serious about each move, and just making it work.
So, like a real NFL general manager, you got to be actively participating in the draft process. Your sheet
Yeah.
is not, not everyone's going to see your sheet and respect that sheet and go, oh, I can't have that guy. Kevin wants him.
Yeah.
So, how you approach reading the draft, reading the board, and pivoting when things aren't going according to plan.
Right, right. Yeah, yeah. I think that's so important. I mean, example, say you see a run happening. And I see this a lot, like in a startup dynasty or something. You'll see quarterbacks flying off the board in the first round, and one QB, like if I have a late round pick, like we have a draft coming up, I'm pick 9. Like I'm probably not going quarterback with that ninth pick. I'll be honest on that. But like even if like the first 8 picks are quarterback, that means I get Justin Jefferson at 9. Why would I not want that? Like so, I mean, it's whenever you do see those runs, it's like okay, there's a huge run on receivers like that might be a more popular thing that would happen. Say I don't know, it's not going to work like this, but say the first, I don't know, 7 out of 8 picks are receiver, why not get the second best running back? Get that hero running back and then come back around. Then you can get that second tier receiver as your wide receiver one. And it's not as big of a fall off as your top guy being the eighth best receiver. So, I mean, I don't know. And obviously, it just comes down to who you like, and it's important to read that board, see what's going to happen in that next round,
It's
and
almost like,
yeah,
it's almost like by the time you notice it's a run, you shouldn't be drafting whatever that run is.
yeah,
Because at that point, you've noticed it's a run. And now there's other positions where you could score a higher tiered person
yeah,
by
and you
just
could start a
moving
run.
out of that. You could start a new run. It's like buying and selling stocks. Like
Yeah,
I want to buy when everyone's selling, and I want to sell when everyone's buying.
yeah,
Why am I
yeah. That's perfect.
following
Yeah,
this trend of quarterback, 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 and then I go and get the seventh best quarterback? What? Because I'm scared? Like,
right,
oh, go get
right.
the number 2 running back and don't be scared. Now you have the number 2 running
Yeah.
back. Good for you.
There you go. Yeah, that's perfect way to analyze it. Like, I don't know. I'm never gonna look like a bitch in a draft. Like, I'm gonna be ready to go. Everybody can take every player I want. I still have an idea of who I want after that. Like, you have a plan B, you have a plan C. Whenever you're about 3, 4 picks away, have that plan A, B, C ready to go, and be able to live with it and be confident in that pick. Every pick should and I never understood why people make picks where it's like, unless they're like up against the clock and like have to pick something that very second, but like settling on people like, oh, I don't really like this player, but I guess I'll take him. And it's like, go ahead and you can reach for that guy that you really like, that it might be a little too early, like you might be half a round early, whatever, that's your guy, go get him. Like, do that instead of settling for, I don't know, some butt cheese boy that you don't want. Like, oh, Chase Claypool's there, and all that, and you know, uh,
Oh, he's nothing more than a common butt cheese boy.
that's what I was looking for. So, yeah, glad you were able to find that.
It's
That's our new
Claypool
draw.
goes to the Bears, by the way.
Yeah,
Just so you
he
know.
is on the Bears. He's not on the Steelers anymore. So, but anyway, yeah, he's a butt cheese boy. So Chase Claypool has been mentioned again for zero reason as a random
He's gonna
example.
go the F off this year.
Yeah, he's gonna prove us wrong. Like when I don't like Josh Jacobs, and I was and anyway, so I was like, yeah, he sucks. I've actually never looked at his stats. I'm not a huge stat person. If I decide I'm out on a guy, and I need to stop doing this, but if I decide I'm out on a guy, I'm out on a guy. And I looked back, and he's finished like a low end RB1, except for last year he was like RB1, 2, or 3 or something. He's been like RB9, RB8, RB12. Like, he finishes so good every year. And for some reason, I just thought Josh Jacobs sucked. And I don't know why. But anyway, he proved me wrong last year. I hope he does again. I'm going to stay away from him again this year,
Right.
just because of the contract holdout situation. But yeah.
So getting away from running back, I feel like quarterback is, I would say, still the most controversial position as to when you take a quarterback. It's been that
Yeah.
way forever, um, and people will die on certain strategies or approaches to quarterback. So, what approaches do you like? What approaches do you try to stay away from?
Yeah, so quarterback is something that because I do like a lot of the top end guys. The thing is, like, if you're in a 2 QB league, which I don't really do those, I stay away from Superflex and 2 QB because I don't think Kirk Cousins should be more valuable than CMC. So like, it's I stay away from that stuff. But like 1 QB, you got to think just simple numbers. You're in a 12 team league. That's 12 starting quarterbacks. There are still very good quarterbacks at 13, 14, 15, 16. Like, wait, get a Jared Goff, get an Aaron Rodgers. Load up on running back, wide receiver. Like, kind of take that zero QB approach, I guess. And but at the same time, I do get it. Like, especially if you can stack, like having, I know in Dynasty, like my team was pretty good last year. We had our startup last year. I waited, and kind of took that approach of zero QB, but by accident because someone just like one pick before me, I kept getting sniped, and I ended up with Aaron Rodgers, and I was like, all right, this will be cool. Like, it's fine. I know I'll have him for a couple years, and I'll just draft a QB later or something. Whenever I packaged him, Damian Pierce in like a first round pick or something for Joe Burrow, and put him with Jamar Chase that I already had. That kind of changed everything. And having that really good quarterback that you get to watch on TV too, and see him scoring you your fantasy points because he's doing it for you and not his team. It means the world. So I mean, I take quarterback where it makes sense. I mean, like I will. One that I've kind of noticed has been kind of falling in a good area is Trevor Lawrence. He's someone with upside. He's going as the QB8 right now. I'll jump and get him at the QB5 if I can. I'll wait for him to fall to the, fifth, sixth round if I can. I like putting him with Calvin Ridley a lot. He's someone that's there. Also, if you're in like a 10 team and then like everybody's got their quarterback and you see that everybody has their quarterback, why not keep waiting? Like pay attention to that board, see what everybody else already has. That's another thing about reading the board, understanding where everybody else's team stands. A lot of people don't do that. They'll just be focused on their team. And if you have a couple teams picking before you or after you, it's good to know like what they might be going for so that you can get that position first before it comes back around. So I mean, I don't know, quarterback approach. I don't know, like I used to just always wait, and now I'm more of a let's kind of bend those rules a little bit, and if it makes sense, let's get the guy whenever we can. But I'll probably never use like a first round pick. I'll never be the first to take a quarterback off the board. But maybe I'll take like that third quarterback or something if it makes sense. What do you like to do with quarterback?
I think mine is simple. I like to feel like I got a deal. I like to get a deal when it comes to quarterback. It's like I'll shell out for the brand new Mercedes wide receiver or running back. I'll pay top dollar. But for some reason, I want a deal at quarterback. I want to feel like I got someone lower than they should have been, or, oh my God, I can't believe this guy's still here. And I just want value. Because I've seen, like, in a lot of seasons, like, just not finishing with the quarterback that I started. And that might just be because I tend to wait longer because I'm looking for a deal.
It's a deep position, too. So, like, that there's someone out there.
Right. I mean, last year I started the year off with, Matt Stafford. That went downhill really fast. Got a hold of Geno, rode Geno out, played Justin Fields during his really great window, and then finished with Geno to end the season. And felt good about that whole year. And if Stafford had played, like kind of regular Stafford play, I would have still felt like I had a good deal with him in my draft. He just had like a terrible year, and everything went, went to hell like really quickly over there.
I remember I watched a couple of friends do their drafts, and they were like getting at the end, and we were like, you know what, I need a backup quarterback because I kind of waited and took a risky first quarterback, and a common one was like, I was like, hey, grab Stafford here, nobody's taking him, and I think in Geno, he's a really good value this year. He finished QB 15 or he's rated QB 15. He's definitely like, I think he's the top 12. He's loaded up with weapons this year too. He's got he's got everybody he's got DK, he's got JSN. They have Ken Walker, they got Zach Charbonnet, they have Tyler Lockett. They and he's a butt cheese boy. I was just being facetious. But yeah, I mean, Geno, great value. Whenever you find that lightning in a bottle, Justin Fields, like that's awesome. Like I think Anthony Richardson's that guy this year. Like, I thought he kind of sucked in college, but that athletic ability of being able to run like that is something that you have to pay attention to. So, It's, you find that worst case scenario, if you have two good quarterbacks, maybe you have a trade piece for somebody who is looking for something later, or is willing to give up that RB2 for a new quarterback or something. So there's value in finding multiple good quarterbacks if you can.
So our last topic is favorite draft slot, draft position. So where do you like to be in the draft, whether it's 10, 12, whatever number? Where do you like to sit when it comes to draft position?
I don't have a favorite slot. I see a lot of advantages for different spots. I guess so if you have the 1 or 2, you're getting Jefferson or Chase, you're very happy with that. And then whenever it comes back around, good chance at a stack or something. That would be an opportunity where maybe I do take that QB kind of early. I like being at either end of the draft because you do have those picks kind of close together. You just kind of have to wait a long time, but then you get those pretty close to back to backs, and you can keep an eye on if I'm in the 11 spot in a 12 team, I have to watch that 12 team, and I can get a good idea of what they need and how I can not get sniped at the end there. So same thing with the 2 spot or something, or even the 3 and the 10. You have that opportunity to just keep that extra little eye on those other couple of teams, and be able to be the best at that end. Let's see, the middle. The advantage there is you never wait too long. You're waiting 10 to 12 picks in between every every little bit. But yeah, I think every draft slot kind of has its advantages and everything. Back to back picks are fun when you know what you're doing.
Yeah, I think
I don't have a favorite.
I think if you're like a beginner, those middle spots are probably really nice, 4, 5, 6. Because you're not going to freak out because, oh crap, I have to pick again. Oh my God, I wasn't ready for that. Or you're just not prepared for the double back-to-back pick. Or you're going to get really upset as you see guy after guy after guy after guy come off the board. In that middle slot, you're not going to get exposed as much as that. But I think if you're someone who's seasoned, if you're prepared, you enjoy the front end or the back end because you're more than likely whoever you've kind of decided you're going for in the next 2 picks, you're probably going to get them because there's not that many picks between. And so I've found myself over the years enjoying the front or the back end, and not really because I get the first pick. I'm gonna rip out that.
Right.
The idea of I got it set in my mind. These are the guys I'm getting, and cool. Just got them. There's not
you
a
can
lot
plan easier. Yeah,
it's nice. But we were texting about earlier. I haven't had a middle of the round pick in a really long time. So in our one of our leagues, I'm going to have a middle of the round pick, and I'm excited to play from that position. I think if you enjoy fantasy, you don't care where you pick, and you see the challenge or the excitement, where you're picking from.
Yeah, and that's with any league settings or anything like that. Anytime I commission a league, I want to make sure those league settings are ideal for that setting. Me and Vinny just started a dynasty league. It's starting up. Draft is in 2 days. It's gonna be a slow draft. And I kind of like that approach too. It's whenever you can't get everybody together, everybody's on different schedules. That slow draft through sleeper is awesome. Everybody has 8 hours to pick. You're not rushing anything, and in dynasty you can truly make that real pick that you want. Draft might take a couple weeks, but it's something to look forward to, kind of get you through and everything. But yeah, I mean, in that one I have the 9th pick, and it's a 10-team league, and you end up not really caring where you draft because that you can be dangerous from about anywhere because you're prepped, you're seasoned, ready to go. So but I guess my favorite spot would be the front or the back, somewhere in there, and it doesn't have to be 1 or 12. It can be a couple off or something. But I guess my least favorite would be the middle. I don't know, just hard to prep because you don't know which way other people are going to go. But lots of fun.
Being the middle person in a human centipede.
Exactly. You're gonna get shit on, but you're gonna shit on some people. So
Okay, so that's our draft show. Next week we're going to be talking about position tiers. We're gonna go ahead and rank these guys within their positions and give you some tiers, and hopefully this can be something you utilize in your draft prep and use it on draft day. And when people ask you where did you get that sweet tier from, you can say I got it from the Fifth Quarter Fantasy Cast. And then tell them to like, subscribe, and all that crap. So that would be good.
Yeah, we're gonna have like some real graphics up next week and everything. So, but yeah, if you drop your email, we'll actually email you the position tiers. We don't have like an official email address, so it'll be like from KevinDry@rocketmail.com. But at least you get the fifth quarter fantasy task position tiers, like by position. We're going to go tier 1, tier 2. We're going to discuss all that next week. Should be a pretty fun show. I think what we're going to do is we're both going to individually do one and meet together before, and then we're going to do a composite tier list because I'm sure we're not going to be too far off on a whole lot of things, but we'll have our reasoning. So, yeah, tune in next week, and that's doctor's orders.
Yeah, be there or you'll die. I mean, that's really it. Okay, thanks for joining us, everyone. On behalf of my co-host, Dr. Dry, have a terrific night. Have a terrific day. Whenever you're listening to this on your car ride home, don't commit any atrocities on the streets, and we will catch y'all next week.
Peace out.
This is going to be great.
Playing?
Music playing. All right. Bye, everyone. Da 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 da.
Whoa.